Hey, this is Alex from Sakoya, and you're listening to our single, Lost and Reckless.
Yes.
It's quality. It's quality.
My emo kind of post-hardcore self is just screaming inside like, rah.
It's so good. I love the drums, man. Love the drums. Being a drummer, that is...
are the best part of that mix for me. They smacked, didn't they? They were just...
I mean, you hear it everywhere, like a band is only as good as the drummer. And the drums in this song are just...
unreal.
And it's so... It breathes throughout the track. Like, it goes like double time on the snare at times, brings it back into a half time, then goes super snare heavy on the verse.
Yeah. I loved when they went from the single to the double time mid like chorus. That was so sick. Loved
and then
that.
they take it away again at the end of the chorus. They go back to the half time. Loved it. Loved it. Really, really clever drum production, first of all, but also just the way the drums are written, awesome. And the cymbal work in the verse, everything sounds so good. The guitar riff, super thick, really in your face. Everything you want from this kind of music is, I don't know if it sounds like it could be even drop C sharp or maybe even lower.
Yeah, it's like the drop C.
But super, super good. And they've even got like a clean arpeggiated kind of thing going on in the verses in the background if you listen. The thing that makes it so impactful is that reverse snare when it kicks in. It starts with that synthy thing and then it's just like it smashes. There's a big sub drop there. Everything production-wise, top-notch. Love the synth. Thrown out to the side in the verses. Bring it back in the, it's there, prevalent throughout the song is that synth kind of, 4-bar thing, or not even 4-bar maybe. Super tight, produced really well. Alex's vocals and the melody is awesome. I actually met these guys a while ago and, you know, they kind of released themselves as a band with this track, which I think is very clever. Like they come straight out the gate. They got, I was talking to them, they got something like 12,000 streams in a week and no one even knew who they were.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
that's
so good. And they're releasing more and more music as they go. They've actually just filmed a music video from their new tracks that I'm excited to listen to. And yeah, I mean, I just think it's so good. Like the vocal is so good for this kind of music. And even though the guitar is dropped down so much, it's like singing. It's not screaming, which is different, which I liked. These are the kind of ones that I thrive on when it's like, what would I add? Because I'm so used to this, especially being back in my band, like the collaboration with, you know, the other band members. I think the first thing I would have done was added tons more harmonies. They've really doubled up on Alex's voice nice in the production. Like the vocal doubling is so good, and that's why it's so thick in the chorus there. I'd have loved some harmonies in there. Just on the, you're lost, I'd have loved it.
Yeah,
and that's really it. I just think just missing a little bit of harmony for me. But everything else, I think, absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
Done a great job, lads. Can't wait to hear more.
I love the thickness of the mix. We've talked quite a lot in like the elements of the critique on this show, where we're like, oh, we just wanted a bit more body, a bit more thickness to this mix. This mix is thick.
Yeah,
this
and
has
the
been
master's
like,
good.
yeah, this has been pushed hard on the limiter in the mastering phase. But I mean, did really, really well there. And it sounds just so rich, but not to the point that like it's sucked all the dynamics out by hitting that limiter so hard. So it's just a really well produced track, and instantly you get that kind of metal post-hardcore vibes, like really kind of Bullet for My Valentine. I just love that. I mean, I'm a big fan of the genre anyway, so instantly I was sold as soon as those drums kicked in, and I was like, oh, I know what's happening here. Loved the vocal EQ and effects, and what I mean by that is the vocals sat really well in the mix. They removed quite a lot of the low end of the vocal, so sometimes in like pop music and whatnot, when the vocalist is really up close with the mic, you get a lot of the low end, and it's like it makes them sound like they're really close. This kind of production technique was like a mid technique, so the vocals were kind of middle of the mix. You know, it had depth, but it wasn't so far back that I couldn't distinguish everything, and it didn't get swallowed up. So I really liked that. It was just well sat in the mix for me, so that you could have that really thick drum presence and guitars at the hard pan left and rights, and it just gave a really good, I think that's what tailored it to having that real body to the mix as well. You know, it didn't just focus solely on the vocals. And I loved the vocals. The huskiness of that kind of great rock voice was so cool. And I think there was a couple of screams in there, wasn't there?
There is. And as you were talking, man, I hate to barge in on your go, but as you were talking, sometimes you need to just listen to someone else talk about the production. And I think what they've done, you said that they've taken away the low end, which I didn't think about. And I thought they have, but they've also, now I would love to know if this is a trick they use, because I've used it before in my old band. FabFilter do a plugin called Saturn, and it's like multi-band saturation.
Yeah.
It sounds like what they've done is they've kind of rolled off the low end, but also multi-band distorted the lows in the mid to low range, which is where you're getting that huskiness and the like it's super. So yeah, sorry to barge in.
No, that's cool, man. No, I love that. Yeah. So that's kind of what I picked up, and I'm a big fan of like screamo, and I love when bands put in screams that just makes me. It makes me want to be seeing them live and just like getting in the pit and going mental.
You wee little Scotsman.
Yeah. Probably, I've all had so many near-death experiences in a mosh pit, but I'm still here to tell the tale. So,
standing strong.
Don't write me off. But yeah, I think the only critique I can really offer when I was listening to this is I just missed a couple of words in the chorus. So I don't know if that was, obviously the chorus is so thick, so heavy, and there's so much going on. I don't know if it's just a case of pulling out some of the words more like surgically, or a bit more compression just to bring the overall level variation in the vocal down, and maybe bring it up a couple of dB, or just to add some maybe a boosted bit of presence and air in the vocal, just so it again lifts forward slightly. That's literally my only critique, is some of the words I just lost lyrically. So, but that's really it. So I think for me, this is a 10 out of 10. I love this track, and I am excited to hear more. Yeah, definitely.
So glued together, isn't it?
Yeah. Tasty mix.
Tasty.
So let's go now to a completely different vibe of track, and this is a cool one as well, guys. Yeah. So this is from Lena Cooper.